Please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the presentation of colors by Ben Franklin High School Naval JROTC Color Guard and the playing of the National Anthem. Please take your seats. Good afternoon. On behalf of the United States Navy, PEO Team Submarines, and the entire Talent Pipeline Program team, welcome to the 2024 Philadelphia Talent Pipeline Project Signing Day celebration. My name is Bruce Warner, and I've had the honor and privilege to lead this team for the last 3 years. And that means a lot to me. The Signing Day celebration is the culmination of the Talent Pipeline Program year. Today, we are here to celebrate our progress made over the last 3 years. As it states in our mission, we have had to build a team to do it. While we are here today to celebrate the employers and those new hires starting careers in the industrial base, we could not have done it without the facilitators and training providers that have supported them and the TPP team. As you will see today, the progress this team has made in the last 3 years has been nothing short of momentous. I'd like to take this opportunity to personally recognize and thank my own team. Our Philly Network coaches have performed flawlessly this year, and they are Leilani Hilton, Becky Becker, Pam Loeffner, Kristen Miller, and newly added coaches Quentin Moore, and our local partner engagement coordinator, Sylvie Gallier-Howard, who has been a strategic team member for 3 years and is an integral team member in connecting local employers with local talent. A special shout out goes to the Delaware Valley Industrial Resource Center, the Manufacturers Association, and Sheila Harris Adams, New Jersey SBDC, for their outstanding efforts in employer recruitment. Your dedication has significantly contributed to expanding our network and strengthening our collective impact. The journey started April 2021 when a group of employers confirmed to the Navy that talent acquisition and retention was a major barrier to increasing their capacity and that they were willing to do something different to overcome and accomplish the mission. Since then, this project has grown exponentially. Last year, at the 2023 signing day on May 4th, we had 32 hiring employers announce 342 hires. Just shy of 1 year later, I am happy to report that 242 of those 342 have or will very soon make it to their first year anniversary, and that 18 of those 32 hiring employers have retained 100% or only lost one. This year, we are standing here today announcing 57 hiring employers with 659 new hires since 1 July of last year. What a huge achievement. So you may be asking yourself, what changed? How did we get here? Simply put, we listened, and the employer partners in this room trusted us. Based on the feedback from last year, the biggest improvement to the program was the institution of the network groups and the network coach. As we all know, life and success are all about relationships that we create. We knew as we continued to grow that we could not compromise that, so we broke the employers up into networks and assigned them a network coach. These coaches have worked closely with each employer to understand their specific operational circumstances, help them think through their challenges differently, develop tools, and implement solutions. Also, as any great coach does, they bring the team together and create those bonds between teammates. Each network has met multiple times this year to share best practices, lessons learned, and explore new solutions to current challenges. During this year, we've seen remarkable things come out of these events, but I believe the biggest impact is that a true team has been created. When we can get passionate industry leaders in a room together, focused on a common mission, one comes to realize that they are part of something bigger than themselves, and when that happens, the bonds and relationships created foster the environment for a high-performance team that is necessary to accomplish this mission so critical to the defense of our great nation. If Admiral Papano was here today, he would describe the Talent Pipeline Project as the connective tissue in the Defense Industrial Base. It is through the connective tissues that we are able to connect the muscles to the bone. It is through the connective tissues that we are able to work together to form a fist instead of 5 separate fingers, working individually. And it is through the connective tissues that we will be able to deliver the knockout punch to those who would threaten our very way of life. Or as Admiral Caudle put it last year, to ensure that our service members never enter a fair fight against any enemy, we will always have the edge. Today, you will hear from representatives from the Navy on why the Talent Pipeline Program is so critical, from a new hire that takes pride in being able to serve their country, and from employers who have done the hard work to improve their talent acquisition and retention systems, to run a better business and to increase their capacity to the Navy. But before any of that, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Joe Barto, Program Leader for the U.S. Navy Talent Pipeline Program. A 1978 graduate, from the United States Military Academy, Joe began his journey of building high-performance teams in 1973 when he was recruited to play basketball at West Point under a brand new coach who would later become the most winningest coach in college Division I NCAA basketball history, Mike Krzyzewski. Drawing on his experiences as a West Point cadet, 20 years as an officer in the United States Army, and another 20 years of running his own high-performance team, Joe has led the TPP team from employers in the Philadelphia region in April 2021 to over 300 employers 3 years later in 7 regions across the United States. It's my privilege to invite to the podium my leader, Joe Barto.
Well, thank you, Bruce. I really appreciate that. I never know what those guys are going to say. So it's a powerful day for us, powerful day to be back in Philly. You and your team have done an amazing job here with the Philly team that kind of stretches all the way from York, Pennsylvania, up to the outskirts of New York City, and managing this amazing flag. So spring, this time of the year is wedding season. For us, it's signing day season. So we started on the 7th of May in Hampton Roads. On the 14th, we were out in Pittsburgh. On Tuesday, we were in Long Island. Today, we're here in Philadelphia. And next Thursday, on the 30th, we'll be in Boston, where we'll have our first ever national signing day, where we'll bring together all 5 flags together at one time to celebrate the great success of this program and to chart our path forward going into the future. So what's kind of the tale of the tape here? Bruce mentioned some of the numbers. If you remember, right behind us at the Seaport Museum, in May of 2022, at our very first signing day, we were all jazzed up. We had 29 employers that hired 259 new hires, and then kept 165 of them through their first year. It was a great place to start. In the second year, because of the confidence that we got here in the Philadelphia region, we went to Pittsburgh and Hampton Roads. We had 115 employers hire 905 and retain about 650 of those. This year in 5 flags, we have 295 employers that have hired 2,404 new hires, and as of April 30th have kept 2,100 of them. Now, I'm not sure what right looks like, but I think that's it. And it is the power of the employers in the room and the team we put together here, because we do have a contribution, and I'm sure Matt later on when he speaks in his keynote, that this problem has gotten bigger instead of smaller over the last several years. The whole SIB demand now is like 14,000 new hires a year. So our contribution, when the small and medium-sized companies, this year we've contributed 2,500. Next year, as we grow to our next phase, we think we'll be around 3,500 in the program as we continue to grow. What a significant accomplishment. So how did that happen? Bruce talked about it, you believed. We also believed in that a lot of this is about attitude. So I believe that every morning you get up, you have a choice in life. If you look for something bad, you will find it. I guarantee it, because there's a lot of challenges out there. But if you get up every morning looking for something good, you'll find that too. And there's a lot of it. And the 60 or so new hires that are here today are what's good about America. They will come to work, they'll go to work every day, they'll get it done because they choose to be a part of this, and they'll do it because the employers in this room value them, having recruited them and hired them, and are now going to put them to work in an amazing way. And you're going to hear Masea talk about that here in a few minutes. So we believe that when you looked at your talent acquisition and retention system, you said, I also can own this problem. I'm not going to be a victim to all these sociological challenges, because my business is going to be a better business. My business is going to be focused on getting the right people in my business, because if I get the right people, I'll run a better business. And if I run a better business, I'll provide more capacity for this tremendous demand we have in the Navy. For those of you that don't know, every year we go through a pretty significant strategic planning process to review the progress we've made so far and where we're going into the future. When we started that in 2022-23, we made 5 planning assumptions. First is that there's going to be a demand. And as all of you know here, the demand is big and getting bigger. Matt's going to talk more about that our demand to defend our country, not only with the submarines and carriers, but the entire fleet recapitalization, which is challenging America's economy and the manufacturing state in bigger ways every day. The second is that the American economy is still operating in a full employment environment. So today, if you're not in this business, and when you hear the unemployment rate is between 3 and 4, that means that anybody in America that wants a job can have a job. So the idea that you're an employer, that you can put an ad in the paper and 100 people are going to show up, how's that working out for you? Not so good. When you've got to get out of your box and go find the right people that are right for your company and then connect them to you for the long term is the magic of the program. We also know that 80% of that capacity is represented in this room today. The 50-person company, the 8-person company, the 300-person company, the 600-person company that are driving the American economy today. And this is the sole focus of this program because as Matt Sermon gave us direction back in 2021, he said, you are the ones that are underserved in our country. It's the small companies that just always are on the back end. And one of my significant moments, and I get a lot of them in this program, we were in Boston. A woman who owned a 50-person manufacturing firm, did mostly machining, stood up at that meeting and said, for the first time in 30 years, the Navy sees me. I never felt that before. I always got these emails that said I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that, do this, do this. This is the first program that came to me and understood me and is now helping me solve my problem and not minimizing it because I only hire 4 or 5 people a year. Also, you're in this room because you accept it is your sole responsibility to attract, retain your people. We will not do it for you. You own it, and you have pulled our service not only in this flag, but the 4 other flags that gives us confidence in the last strategic planning assumption, which is this model works. It scales, and we're going to retain the integrity of the program as we continue to scale it across America. So also, recently, Mr. Sermon, Admiral Papano, approved the 2024-26 plan. So as many of you have seen on social media, about 3 weeks ago, we planted a flag in Southern California. Admiral Todd Weeks, who is going to be the replacement for Scott Papano, is the sponsor for that. Because of you, we had 60 companies come to that demand signal roundtable in Southern California. 30 of them were there because companies like you called their friends in Southern California and said, you need to be a part of this. That's when we know we're on the right track. Also, we have been directed to conduct a national rollout so that no longer do we have to ask you what region of the country you're in. We now have the capacity that if you're anywhere in the country, we can help you. That's a huge statement by the senior leadership in the Navy on the confidence of this program to deliver on their promises. So I'd like to take a minute to introduce the official party. On my right, we have Matt Sermon that is going to speak to us here in a minute. Next to him is the Command Master Chief, Jeff Hiscocks, who is also the Pittsburgh flag sponsor. We have from the Shipbuilders Industrial Base Council, Pat Hirschberg. Pat was here on the very first day. We have 2 people here from Rhoads Industries that are our local partner engagement coordinator, Joe Welsh and Sylvie Gallier Howard on that end. He used to be my running buddy up here, and now you've retired to the front row of the session. We were really happy this year to bring another local partner engagement coordinator to the table with Chris Safario at the Delaware Valley IRC. Also, the shipbuilders are always important. Nancy and Stephanie Montaigne here in the front, Nancy Martin, representing General Dynamics Electric Boat. We also from Community College of Philadelphia, Danielle Watkins. Where's Danielle? She leave? Oh, there you are. Hey, Danielle, you got a seat up here in the front. You can come up anytime you want to. And then from Philadelphia School District, we have my running buddy from the very beginning, Michelle Armstrong. Where'd Michelle go? You're in the back too? So thanks for being here. Also, we have our guests, our special guest appearance will be introduced by Rhoads Industries, Steve Catherman, and we have Masea Paradis, who's going to be our speaker here in a minute. So big celebration here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our employers, our training providers, our facilitators, and the United States Navy PEO for Strategic Submarines, leading the way across all of the United States Navy, that for believing and demonstrating that when we work together to a common mission, this program is what is right and good about American manufacturing. Once again, answering America's call to arms to ensure that we can defend our country and our way of life. It's always tough to make this introduction for somebody who probably doesn't need an introduction. Matt Sermon is a 1999 graduate of the United States Naval Academy. Was commissioned as a Navy Surface Warfare Officer, also a Navy nuke. I understand from Justin that you were on the Eisenhower and the commissioning crew. And then for almost 20 years now has been in the Navy acquisition community. And his current position is the Executive Director of the PEO Strategic Submarines. So I have to tell a story. You know, we first started this back in the winter of 2020 when Whitney Jones, Matt Sermon said, hey man, we're thinking about we got this great idea. And so Matt, Bruce Warner and I made a trip up 995 on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day, 2021. And we had this meeting called the Demand Signal Roundtable. I don't know who came up with that name, but it kind of fit. And we went down to the Philly shipyard. Now, what were you doing on April 1st, 2021? Right in the teeth of COVID. We were 6 feet apart. We tried to do some Zoom thing that didn't work. We had a few people here and there, and I think there might have been 6 or 7 people. And most of them were in this room today. Joe Welsh. I kind of get a little emotional about this, but we sat around, we talked about this program, and we said, I remember leaving there, and Matt and I we got in the car leaving. I looked at Matt and I said, hey man, do you really think this is the right thing to do? And he said, you can do it, Joe, let's go get it done. And it's been amazing, amazing ever since. So I always talk about the success of this program is that we have had amazing support from the United States Navy from the very beginning. Not only financially, but more importantly, emotionally. Every step of the way it was continue to march, don't slow down, keep moving. And I owe that to the leadership, Scott Papano, Whitney Jones, and then of course, Mr. Matt Sermon. And I'm so proud to bring to the podium Mr. Matt Sermon, the Executive Director of the PEO Strategic Submarines. Thank
you. Don't worry, Joe, I started my timer. You know me, always right on time. I also want to choose the right side here, which are the brightest collection of lights I've ever seen in my life. How about the awesome job the color guard did? That was great. If only the Eagles could execute with such precision. I really am thrilled to be here. I love me some Philly. I'm grateful to the city, to schools, the academic partners, the students, the industry leaders, for what you partnered with Joe and the TMG team have done here. City of brotherly love, cradle of liberty, incredible Navy and maritime tradition. the land of first-round playoff exits. I really am grateful to be here. I got at least another 6 months before I have to worry about eating it either, so I'll get back here sometime between now and then too. In all seriousness, we have an incredible challenge ahead of us as a nation. And really, Joe talked about 500 industry partners, 2,400 folks coming into this industrial base via the pipeline across 5, right? Philly started it, kicked it off in April of 21, the first signing day, May of 22. We're on our 3rd signing day. Philly led the way here. I was a skeptic starting with Philly, but Philly led the way. Pittsburgh now, obviously trailing Philly, not in sports, but in the talent pipeline. Hampton Roads, Virginia, Long Island, Boston, California, a national presence where people need help. It's been incredible growth, and we're just getting started. We're just getting warmed up. The challenge is immense. 81 years ago today, the USS New Jersey, second ship of the Iowa-class fast battleship, 60,000 tons, 1,921 officers and sailors, the biggest guns used in the history of maritime warfare, was commissioned. She was put in service on May the 23rd of 1943. She's the most decorated battleship in the history of the U.S. Navy. 19 battle stars. Served from World War II, 4 or 5 major engagements in the Pacific, to the Vietnam War, to Desert Shield in 1990-91, before she was finally decommissioned. And she usually sits magnificently. They're some of the finest looking ships in the history of the world across the river here, but she's 4 miles south at the Navy Yard getting some touch-ups right now. And I almost always talk about a history note. And when I saw that glorious ship that represents this region, that was built here by American workers, 60,000 tons in less than 4 years, from laying down the first piece of steel to sending her off into the fight. I get emotional about that. Today, our American workforce, those of you entering today into a wide variety of positions in the industrial base, remains the foundation of our national security. Sailors are spectacular, Marines are spectacular, airmen are spectacular, Coast Guardmen are spectacular, Army soldiers are meh. That was for Joe. They're pretty awesome too. They can't protect our way of life. They can't deploy forward without the weapons, platforms, logistical support provided by the American worker, engineer, leader, logistician, financial manager, on and on. It's an incredibly complex system that delivers national security. And it is threatened right now. Our way of life is fundamentally threatened. 90% of our goods come across the oceans. 97% of data comes undersea. The protection, the freedom of those seas is fundamental to every single day, every single thing we do. For me, glancing at my phone, taking a selfie up here with Master Chief, to what we're gonna have for dinner, what we're gonna buy as our goods and services, and the freedom, free economy, which creates jobs, and freedom to do what we want with our lives. Rests on the American worker, rests on that system, rests on our ability to go and build those foundations of national security. Pretty biased, but the submarines are the foundation of that foundation. Ballistic missile submarines are literally the foundation of our national security strategy and guarantee that no one can surprise us without a surety of having a very, very, very bad day. Our attack submarines are the key advantage in not having war happen today in a couple parts of the world, right? National security strategy. I'll be quasi-political for a second. If you look at the national security strategy for 2017, and you look at the national security strategy for 2021, two very different presidents, two very different political landscapes in the nation. They say the same thing about the threat to our national security. That the Chinese Communist Party and Russia, currently fighting an illegal war in Ukraine, are threats to the American way of life. And submarines ready to fight in new construction, in sustainment, combatant ships, logistic ships, aircraft carriers. Everybody make sure Justin Meyer knows I said I threw in aircraft carriers too. Are foundational to that. Employers, so grateful that you're continuing to support this program, that you're continuing to come to the table, that you're continuing to provide your demand signal, that you're continuing to lean forward into the work we have ahead of us, where workers, retaining workers, training them, making them into great supervisors, building great supervisors for them, is foundational to what we have to do. Academic partners, thank you for continuing to lean into this program. Tell us what you need. Times we can be slow, I know. Tell us what you need. We're ready to continue to support this program and the other talent pipeline programs. And finally, and the reason that we're all here, those of you who are entering this industrial base right now or over the past few months or in the coming weeks, thank you. Thank you for your willingness to serve. Thank you for your willingness to stand at the cross-section of service and opportunity. We have career-enhancing, family-sustaining. Thanks, Ron Sizer, for that word. I use it all the time, everywhere now. Jobs with lots of growth potential, with good lives ahead of you, where you're serving your nation and you're growing. Employers and those coming into the industrial base hold each other to high standards. You're doing incredibly important work, value each other, build relationships, send belonging cues, focus on training, focus on development, focus on growth, ask for help. We're at a national crossroads. The Navy team is here to help for real, not just the usual, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. This program has laid a foundation for us being able to do this together, with Philadelphia as the foundation that we laid down. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon and the reception. Look forward to talking to some of you. Ask for help, learn your profession, drive hard for growth, build submarines. Thank you.
So we're privileged to have a video that we'd like to show by Admiral Caudle, who is the Fleet Forces Command Commander, is in fact the officer responsible to fight those ships that we're going to build. So please roll the video.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to address you virtually today as we celebrate those completing the 2024 Talent Pipeline Program. To the employers, employees, and your families, congratulations, or as we say in the Navy, bravo Zulu, shipmates. My name is Admiral Caudle, and for those who are unsure what I do as the U.S. Fleet Forces Commander across my many duties and responsibilities, I am charged with organizing, training, and equipping a force of over 125,000 sailors and civilians with hundreds of ships, submarines, aircraft, and support facilities across the U.S. Atlantic Fleet that can ultimately prevail in high-end conflict while meeting the objectives of our operational commanders. This is a tremendous responsibility, but an even larger honor to lead our finest warriors at this level. In short, we protect America and our homeland from attack and go forward to defend our interests around the world, and if needed, win decisively on terms favorable to the United States. So first, please accept my regrets that I could not be there with you in person to celebrate. This program that Joe Barto, PEO Submarines, and the Navy placed in run in 2021 in Pennsylvania is growing at an eye-watering pace, and my schedule could not support my attending in person. It still brings me great pleasure to be able to participate in the conclusion of one chapter of your lives and the beginning of what will be the next phase of an incredible part of your professional journey. And what an exciting day it is. To the employees, welcome to the Defense Industrial Base. You are now an elite member of the foundation that supports our world-class Navy. You're part of something truly special. No one else is able to sustain a combat fleet of conventional and nuclear-powered warships at such a high tempo over the class life cycle of 30, 40, or even 50 years. You should all be extremely proud. I know I am. It's impossible to see the talent before me today and not be excited and confident in the future of our country. That is why I had to be part of this day, to take the opportunity to share the need for industry and the Navy to cooperate and partner to improve fleet maintenance so we can sustain forces forward during a high-end fight, because that is the job of everyone there in the room, to deliver the foundation and infrastructure the Navy and most importantly our sailors need so that we can fight and win our nation's wars. We have fallen a long way from the height of World War II, where our shipbuilding industry built almost 9,000 naval vessels and employed some 650,000 Americans from 1943 to 1945. Today's number of personnel working in the shipbuilding industry is around 105,000, a 600% reduction from the height of World War II. One last stunning fact that I hope you're aware of is more than half of the world's shipbuilding output came from China last year, making it the leader in shipping industry by a very large margin. What does all that mean for us and those in uniform? A deep concern for our Navy's future combat power. Without the help and commitment from extraordinary patriots and professionals like yourself, the idea of being something bigger than just a job, but service to your nation. But before I get too far ahead of myself, let's cover what matters and why we're here today. On this signing day in the Talent Pipeline Program Acknowledgement Celebration, my message remains consistent. We must all work together to build concrete and accountable actions that will get our Navy ship and shipbuilding plan back on track. This initiative will ultimately allow fleet and type commanders to generate the forces needed to be ready, on station, and a force standing at the ready to surge and support contingency operations. No Navy in the world can do what we do. I will tell you as straightforward and as simply as possible. We need everyone listening and across the nation to be all in. Not only the ship and submarine building and repair industry, but the defense industrial base writ large. So celebrate today's occasion, because it is certainly an achievement worth enjoying. And I challenge you to continue to aggressively pursue excellence by becoming a master craftsman of the highest order. Put your personal touch on each ship you build, each part you fabricate, and each component you repair, and be proud. You will work hard, dedicated to a career that has real meaning to your family, to your community, to your Navy, and your nation, and certainly to the world. After all, when you see your ships doing great things like the Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group, who's out there right now, you will have the privilege of telling yourself, your loved ones, and everyone you know, I did that. I helped make my country safe and secure today. I do it every day. Thank you and congratulations, shipmates.
Thank you, Mr. Sermon, for your outstanding keynote. Our next two speakers are here today representing the core relationship in our program, the new hire and the employer. In talent acquisition and retention, no one finds a job, and an employer gives someone an opportunity. So before we hear from this year's new hire speaker, I'd like to welcome to the stage Mr. Steve Catherman, Director of Fabrication and Training from Rhoads Industries, to introduce his new hire.
All right. How's everybody doing tonight? All right. I am Steve Catherman, the Director of Fabrication of Rhoads Industries, located at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. I'm also manager of our training and apprentice programs, along with my colleagues, the legend Doc, Jim Holden, and Pat Devine, preparing craftsmen and women for a critical mission, welding on complex submarine components for the U.S. Navy. I cannot tell you how humbled I am standing here today, as I've attended the same programs as some of the students that are here today, way back when, of course. In fact, way, way back when. In which we reconnected through this talent pipeline project. Now, here I am today introducing to you an outstanding young lady who exceeded Rhoads Industries' expectations in her welding apprentice program. In 2021, she was a junior. During our annual visits to welding training institutions across the region, explaining the program's opportunities and the mission. This specific visit was to Eastern School of the Arts in Willow Grove at the request of their welding instructor, Miss Megan Giacchino, otherwise known as Miss C. Miss C here tonight? There she is. During my discussion and presentation at Eastern with the welding students, I could not help notice a young lady sitting up front with a sweatshirt that said NASA, paying remarkably close attention. After our presentation, I always hang out, make it a point to spend time with the students and instructors for any questions and their accomplishments. I approached this same young lady and I said, "So what do you think?" She proceeded to tell me, "Mr. Catherman, it was very informative, but I'm going to work for NASA." Without saying, I gave the best advice I could. I said, aim high, shoot for the stars, and consider Rhoads. So some time goes by, spring of 2023, in preparation of our next apprentice class with my colleague Trish Conti, I see this young lady's name on the list. At first, I was not sure it was the same young lady. At the time of the interview, when she walked in, it was indeed her. I said, "I thought you were going to work for NASA." She could not believe I remembered that and laughed, and proceeded to tell us, gave it a lot of thought, and picked Rhoads Industries. During the interview, she was focused, and we could just tell her passion for the welding industry. From the start, throughout her apprenticeship, it was always, "Good morning, Mr. Catherman." throughout the day, it was always, "How you doing, Mr. Catherman?" One day I said to her, I said, "Look, it's okay to call me Steve." She said, "Okay, Mr. Catherman." To this day, when I see her on the floor, it's always a fist bump, and she asks me how my day is going. Since the signing time of last year, about this time, she has excelled. She's exceeded her requirements of our apprentice program, earning all certificates of weld knowledge and qualified to various welding procedures to include commercial, AWS qualifications, gas metal arc pulse, carbon steel, 3G, 4G, gas metal arc welding spray, unlimited, carbon steel, 1G, 2G. She worked part of our apprentice program, OJT, welding on the largest weldment presently being constructed at Rhoads Industries today under the commercial qualifications. She's also earned and passed her DoD qualifications for the mission, which included Rhoads Industries MIL workmanship training, General Dynamics electric boat MIL workmanship training, MIL steam plant cleanliness training, MIL gas metal arc welding pulse unlimited HY80 2G 3G 4G, MIL gas metal arc spray unlimited HY80 2G. In layman's terms, that's a lot of qualifications and a big accomplishment in the 1-year period of time she's been with Rhoads Industries. Currently, she is now working on submarine structures for General Dynamics electric boat, working hard on her JE portion of her apprenticeship. She is a standout for this critical mission. Please join me in welcoming my esteemed colleague and overall rock star in the welding industry, Masea.
Not sure how well I'm going to do it following that up. But good afternoon. I'm Masea Paradis, and I'm a 2023 apprentice from Rhoads Industries. I started July 10th last year, and I'm here to share my journey on how I got here. Some background on me: I always wanted to support my country, whether it was to join the military or the police force. I always had a passion for working with my hands, whether it be watching my mom work on cars or whether it be watching the construction workers in the streets. I love the idea of being able to create and fix with my own hands. I had a dream to become a construction worker, which, granted, is unusual for a 9-year-old girl. I held on to that passion for a long time until school told me the college was the only way to go. In the summer of 2021, I had convinced myself my passion was NASA and going to space and working for them, and was willing to get there no matter what. The truth was, it wasn't my passion at all, and I truly felt like I was lost. I wanted a way to pay for college, to go for aerospace engineering, and I heard welding was a good program and it made money. After I joined the Voltec School of Eastern Center for the Arts and Technology, I found out what it was like to be in love and passionate about a job. I couldn't wait to go to Eastern and put my heart and soul into questions and to learn more about welding every day. I had an amazing welding teacher, Miss Chiquino, who will tell you I was a bug in her ear for 2 years. She did a great job of keeping me humble while encouraging me and giving me the best information she had. I excelled as a first year and quickly made it to the last unit of our program before the first year ended. That year at Eastern, I had won the locals competition and went on to districts. I was very quickly humbled there. The torches were different than the ones I was trained on. I didn't understand the tech school's equipment, and I went in thinking I was going to kill the competition as a first year against second and third years. Figured. I learned a lot of lessons that day and quickly chose to keep myself humble when it came to welding. I will never regret it because it was a very big shaping moment for me and my attitude. Along the way, an old guy named Steve Catherman visited Eastern for Rhoads Industries. He talked about an apprenticeship program he had. I listened and took notes on what he had to say, but in my head it was already decided. NASA was it, you know? As soon as he stopped talking, as he said, I snobbily told him that I was going to NASA. And he seemed to know a lot, and I listened to what he had to say. Over that summer, I had worked at Havis in Warminster, PA. They designed, manufactured, and installed prisoner transport and canine units and other things to support our boys in blue. I loved the job, but it wasn't what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. About halfway through my senior year, I was asked a life-changing question in reality, but it seemed pretty simple to me. Masea asked me, do you want me to send your resume to Rhoads Industries? A question I almost said no to, which is crazy to me. I turned and said, why not? I had an interview set for March 23rd at 9:30 a.m. I showed up at a prompt 6 a.m. Time for a nap, a snack, and to make sure I was ready and that I didn't want to be late. If you think I'm crazy, do not ask what time I go to work every day. I loved my interviewers, Miss Trish and Mr. Steve Catherman. They asked me a few basic questions, then came time to test my welding knowledge. They slid a paper my way, and it felt like they asked me what the first 10 letters of the alphabet were. I got called out for my confidence smile because I knew I had it in the bag. The distinct words of, I like that confidence smile, ring in my head when I think down on myself. I met the other apprentices and new instructors, Doc and Pat. I'm not sure where they are. Hi, guys. A couple weeks later, and our start date was set, July 10th, 2023. They started off telling us we don't hold anybody back. I personally think they did not think that one through because they quickly ran out of things for me to do. Every day I had them scrambling for something to do. And I want to make sure to thank the instructors that helped me learn so much. Doc is a man with about 100 years of experience under his belt and held true to the rules set in place. I will always be grateful for his knowledge he passed down to me and how fun he made things while being strict in getting the information across. Pat, while sometimes bombarding me with dad jokes, he's extremely smart and has a little sass behind him. I learned so much from both of them, along with Steve and an instructor that had kind of hopped on at the last minute is James. He and I have more in common than I would like to admit, how our minds work and how I like being challenged. And I'd like to thank God for all the opportunities he gave me, because I wouldn't be here without him. Thank you all for having me today to share my first year experience. Thank you, Rhoads Industries, for an amazing opportunity as apprentice, working for you, and helping towards the critical mission of helping my country.
Thank you, Masea. Fantastic job. As I mentioned earlier, this is truly a team effort. And you heard her talk about her team that helped her along. You're going to hear a lot of that today. Without the talent pipeline providers and our facilitators, our progress this year would not have been possible. When called, please stand and remain standing as I call the training provider partners first. For those that are here. So remain standing and hold the applause till the end of the training providers, and then we'll recognize the facilitators. Ron Sizer from Ben Franklin High School. Dr. Kim Grant Horsey from Ben Franklin High School. Jen Orazi from the Delaware County Community College. I know she's here. I saw her earlier. Thank you. From Mastbaum High School, we have Jonathan Jacobs and James Blocker, right? Thank you. From Pennsauken High School District, or Pennsauken School District, we have Jeff Ford, Greg Hendricks, and Davis Haynes. I saw all three of them earlier. Thanks, guys, for being here. Also from the School District of Philadelphia, we have Melanie Armstrong, Mark Marshall, and Lillian Rivera. Thank you. And now I'll recognize the facilitators that are in attendance. Chester County Economic Development Council, Jim Lochner. Thank you, sir, for being here and your support this year. From the Delaware Valley Industrial Resource Center, Hannah McGarry's here. We've already recognized Chris up front. Thank you, Hannah. From General Dynamics Electric Boat, Stephanie, I know he recognized you earlier, and Nancy, but thank you. From the NDIA, Delaware Valley, Joe, he's already recognized Joe Welsh as well. From the World Affairs Council of Philadelphia, we have a new Francis, right? Thank you. So we're ready for the main event. In this portion of the program, we'll hear from our network employers. There'll be a network employer representing each network that will speak on behalf of the employers in their network. After their speeches, we'll invite each employer, partner with their new hire representatives with them here today on stage to be recognized while we announce their first year anniversaries from last year's cohort and their new hires for this year. The employers will receive a plaque in recognition for their hard work and dedication to recruit, hire, onboard, and retain the critical teammates needed to increase the capacity of the Defense Industrial Base. The new hires will receive a challenge coin. Challenge coins serve as a symbol of membership, belonging, and camaraderie, forging a strong bond among those who possess them. Additionally, they are used to acknowledge an individual's achievements, dedication, or exemplary service, and serve as a tangible reminder of the appreciation and respect of their peers and superiors. Receiving a challenge coin is a great honor, as it signifies that the recipient has played a special role, making a significant impact on their peers and the organizations as a whole. The challenge coins presented here today are to commemorate their decision to serve their country as a member of the Defense Industrial Base. May it serve as a reminder that you are part of something bigger than yourself, and that your chosen profession is noble and critical to the defense of the United States of America. On the first year anniversary, employees receive a commemorative pin that symbolizes their dedication to their organization and overarching mission to strengthen the Defense Industrial Base. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Leilani Hilton, representing the Philadelphia Network.
Good afternoon. My name is Leilani Hilton. I'm the coach for the Philadelphia Network. Our 35 hiring employers, we have announcing 309 new hires. Out of the 35 hiring employers, we have 13 employers in their third year and 9 employers in their second year of the program. And they're all pleased to announce 110 new hires from last year that have reached their 1-year anniversary. I'd also like to acknowledge Rhoads Industries as our lead employer for the Philadelphia Network, and a huge shout out to Joe Welsh and Trish Conte for their outstanding leadership in organizing 3 successful networking events. Their efforts have been crucial in strengthening the community among employers, facilitators, and training providers. Thank you again, Joe and Trish, and Rhoads Industries for exceptional dedication to the United States Navy Talent Pipeline Program. Our employer speaker for the Philadelphia Network is Pennsylvania Machine Works. Penn Machine is in their second year of the program and is also our best practice model for this year cohort. Penn Machine is happy to report 16 new hires from last year that have reached 1-year anniversary and are reporting 21 new hires this year. Penn Machine is also a franchise employer, reporting hires from 2 site locations in Aston, PA, and Swedesboro, New Jersey. So welcome. For her remarks, the Human Resource Manager, Susan Watras.
Hi. So today I'm excited to share with you the collective achievements and ongoing progress made possible through the Talent Pipeline program. This initiative has proven itself as a vital resource for companies across the industrial and defense sectors, fostering partnerships that enhance our national defense capabilities and bolster our industrial workforce. Chalmers & Kubeck, a company founded by World War II veterans, epitomizes the commitment to supporting our armed forces. They've expanded their team through the TPP, enhancing their capabilities to serve the Navy with skilled mechanics and machinists. Similarly, Columbia Research Laboratories has opened a new avenue in small component soldering, directly addressing a crucial skill gap identified through their involvement with the TPP. The Talent Pipeline program has not only filled vacancies, but transformed recruitment and retention into competitive advantages. Companies like Kingsbury have revolutionized their talent management strategies, turning major concerns into strengths that support both the U.S. Navy and our country's industrial base. Metals USA and Pennsylvania Machine Works have also leveraged TPP to meet current demands and anticipate future growth, ensuring a steady supply of skilled workers and maintaining a robust manufacturing sector. While we still have a lot of work ahead of us, our proactive engagement with career and technical education programs helps cultivate the next generation of industry leaders. On the front lines of innovation and defense, the Naval Surface Warfare Center and the Naval Foundry and Propeller Center have found in TPP a reliable ally. These partnerships enable them to maintain a ready and capable workforce critical to meeting the Navy's operational demands and advancing our national defense objectives. As we look to the future, it is clear that the Talent Pipeline program is more than just a pathway to employment. It's a cornerstone of sustainable industry growth, a testament to the power of collaboration. Let us continue to support this program, driving forward not just our companies, but also the very fabric of our nation's industrial and defense sectors, and last but not least, our communities. Best of luck to all of you tonight for continued success and opportunities.
Thank you, Sue. The Pennsylvania Machine Works new hires here with us today are Nicole Sire and Fee Lee. Our next employer is Rhoads Industry, represented by Steve Catherman, Director of Fabrication and Training. Rhoads is in the third year of their program, is happy to report 11 new hires from last year have reached their first year anniversary and are reporting 12 new hires this year. The new hires here with us today are Masea Paradis, Michael Skirisky, Jacob Parkinson, Charlie Cribb, Nadira Sasportas, Delicia Crespo, Ray Molina, Joe Catalado, Robert Augustin, Erica Varnell, Nick Opdyke, Boots Olson, Guyana Katarine Keen. Our next employer is Philly Shipyard, represented by Megan Heilman, Training Manager. Philly Shipyard's in their third year of the program and is happy to report 28 new hires from last year have reached their first year anniversary and are reporting 61 new hires. Our next employer is the Naval Surface Warfare Center, Philadelphia Division, represented by Mr. Nigel Thies, Technical Director. NSWC is in their third year of the program and is happy to report 3 new hires from last year have reached their first year anniversary and 17 new hires this year. New hires here today are Stefan Schwinn, Yolanda Brown, Tahir Abdul Hadid, Patrick Crossgrove, Wayne Fuller, Ross Person, Andrew Butler, Justin Holmes, Mark Burr Jr., Ryan Craybill, Brandon Moore, Ronaldo Acosta. Our next employer is Kingsbury, represented by Mike Brawley, President and CEO, and Yves Coulot, Chairman of Board. Kingsbury is in their third year of the program and was the best practice model for 2021. They're happy to report 9 new hires from last year reaching their first year anniversary and reporting 37 new hires this year. Kingsbury is also a franchise employer, reporting hires from 2 site locations in Philadelphia, PA, and Oshkosh, Wisconsin. New hires here today are Melvin Rodriguez, Timothy Lally, Robert Hampton, Stephanie Robbins, Jose Alcantara, Luther Dime, Luis Rivera, and Todd Stranahan. Our next employer for Philadelphia Network is Metals USA Plates and Shapes, presented by David Rowley, Director of Military Sales Initiative. Metals USA is in their third year of the program and happy to report 20 new hires from last year having reached their first year anniversary, and 33 new hires this year. Metals USA is a franchise employer and reporting hires from 5 different locations, from Ambridge, Fairless Hills, Langhorne, Philadelphia, and East York, PA. Our next employer is Lehigh Heavy Forge, represented by Carla Day, Human Resource Manager. Lehigh is in their third year of the program and is happy to report 14 new hires from last year have reached their 1-year anniversary and 25 new hires this year. Our next employer is Shoemaker MFG Solutions, represented by Harry Shoemaker, President. Shoemaker is in their first year of the program and is happy to report a new hire, Javier Flores. Our next employer is from American Wire Works, represented by Phil Fusaka, President. American Wire Works is also in their first year of the program and is happy to report a new hire, Joshua Carter. Congrats. welcome to the stage our other Philly network coach, Pam Loeffner, to introduce her employer partners.
Thank you, Lonnie. Our next employer is the Naval Foundry and Propeller Center, represented by Nate Bird, Director. The Naval Foundry is in its third year of the program, and happy to report 2 new hires this year. The new hire with us today is Joshua Morales Velez. Our next employer is QED Systems, represented by Mary Trotman, Program Manager. QED is in their third year of the program and is happy to report 1 new hire this year. The new hire with us here today is Kenneth Lorraine. Our next employer is Derbyshire Machine and Tool, represented by Michelle Panzano, Human Resources. Derbyshire is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 4 new hires from last year reached their first year anniversary, and they are reporting 11 new hires this year. Our next employer is NDI Engineering Company, represented by Brad Mead, CEO. NDI is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 8 new hires from last year reached their first year anniversary, and they are reporting 6 new hires this year. New hires with us here today are Aidan Weaver and John Corcoran. Our next employer is DeVal Lifecycle Support, represented here today by David Carasello, Vice President. DeVal is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 19 new hires this year. New hires with us here today are Terrence Nixon, Elijah Afrifa, Moses DeHart, and Tyleem Langston. Okay. Here comes Bruce.
Sorry about that. I was busy handing out coins and was ready. Now I'd like to introduce the network coach for our South Central, which is the central portion really of Pennsylvania, Becky Becker. and her counterpart, Quentin Moore, new gentleman, is behind the flag or stand helping us. But Becky?
Thanks, Bruce. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the South Central Pennsylvania coach. This year we have a total of 21 employers, and we're announcing 265 new hires. Out of our 21 hiring employers, we have 8 that are in their 3rd year and 2 that are in their 2nd year. And we're pleased to announce that there are 49 hires from last year that have reached their 1-year anniversary. Our highlights this year are expansion. We added 11 new members during this year, doubling our participating companies. And we're excited about 2 more companies that are going to start with us July 1st, AMZ and Microfacture. So we're looking forward to that expansion. We're transitioning to the new coach network model under the guidance of TMG. This network has embraced the transition to that new model, welcoming Quentin Moore as our 2nd coach. And this model aims to provide more personalized support and guidance to our members, fostering stronger connections and collaboration. And we held 3 events this year under the leadership and support with Bruce Warner, Lonnie Hilton, TMG, the Manufacturers Association, including one at York Precision that was standing room only, kind of like today, a network lunch at the Manufacturers Association, and a breakfast event at the York Fairgrounds that included our TPP companies, CTCs, VIPs. And these events have proved valuable opportunities to share best practices, connect with industry leaders and representatives from the U.S. Navy, including Command Master Chief Hiscocks, the Blue Forge Alliance, Electric Boat, the SIB, and the Veterans Administration. Our employer speaker for our network is MRG Labs. MRG Labs is in their 1st year of the program, and they're happy to report 2 hires. We welcome to the stage for his remarks, President of MRG Labs, Rich Wurzbach.
Thank you, Becky. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rich Wurzbach. I'm the president of MRG Labs in York, Pennsylvania. Today I want to talk about the incredible value and impact of the U.S. Navy's Talent Pipeline Program, or TPP. As a representative from 22 companies across South Central Pennsylvania engaged in the TPP effort, we have all experienced the benefits of partnering with this vital initiative. The TPP is an investment in the next generation of leaders and skilled professionals for our industry and our nation. By forging strong partnerships between businesses and educational institutions, we are aligning our workforce needs with robust educational pathways. This creates a sustainable talent pipeline to meet our hiring demands. Many of us have faced significant challenges in recruiting and retaining skilled tradespeople. The TPP has opened new avenues and best practices for attracting this critical talent that we definitely need. We now have solid relationships with trade schools, universities, and other educational institutions, allowing us to successfully recruit their top students into our companies. The TPP has provided invaluable resources for employee training, development, recruitment, and retention strategies. We've gained insights into leadership programs, onboarding processes, and policies to cultivate a skilled, engaged workforce. This upskilling benefits our business and strengthens American manufacturing. South Central Pennsylvania has a long and proud history of answering the nation's call to service. From hosting 2 of the earliest capitals of the United States, including York, Pennsylvania, where my company is from, to leveraging its manufacturing prowess during World War II through the historic York Plan, where communities banded together to secure military contracts, this region has consistently stepped up for the country. Even today in 2023, South Central PA maintains its patriotic tradition as a designated defense community. This prestigious designation, championed by the Manufacturers Association, recognizes the area's ongoing commitment to supporting the military through its robust manufacturing capabilities and skilled workforce. Whether in times of war or peace, South Central Pennsylvania has proven itself to be a stalwart ally and vital contributor to America's strength and security. The legacy of service stretches back to the nation's founding and continues unbroken into the modern era, exemplifying our region's enduring patriotism. Ultimately, our partnership with the TTP directly contributes to our nation's security and economic interests. By developing a robust pipeline of skilled workers, we are ensuring the U.S. Navy and shipbuilding industry have the human capital needed to meet the mission-critical needs. Our precision machined submarine components from some of the members of our group, casted iron military coatings, fasteners, ruggedized computer monitors, and for us at MRG Laboratories, services to analyze lubricants in critical components in the Navy and other military sectors. These all enable our military to execute their duties effectively. The TPP is building up the next generation of skilled tradespeople to support the military's requirements and bolster our industrial base. This is vital for safeguarding our national security while driving innovation and growth in our companies and in our communities. We are proud to partner with the Talent Pipeline Program and contribute to this larger vision. Together, we are investing in our future workforce, strengthening American manufacturing, and supporting the U.S. Navy's critical mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wurzbach. MRG Lab has two new hires here with us today, Austin Tarman and Jonathan Wright. Come on up. Our next employer is Precision Custom Components, represented by Blair Woodring, Director of Business Development. PCC is in their third year of the program and happy to report 3 hires from last year that have received their first year anniversary and are reporting 13 new hires for this year. Our next employer is Johnson Controls Navy Systems, represented by Andrew Clancy, Director of Business Development, Johnson Controls. They're also in their third year of the program and happy to report 14 new hires from last year, then have reached their 1-year anniversary and reporting 11 new hires this year. Our next employer is York Precision Machining and Hydraulics, represented by Dan Baker, President. York Precision is in their third year of the program and happy to report 6 hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary and 4 new hires this year. Our next employer is Cleveland Cliffs, Coatesville, represented by Andrew Sauter, Senior Industrial Engineer, Eastern Plate and Rail. Cleveland Cliffs is in their third year of the program and was the best practice model employer for 2022. They're happy to report 8 new hires that have reached their first year and 22 new hires this year. Our next employer is Fluid Conditioning Products, represented by Susan Nigel, owner. Fluid Conditioning is in their second year of the program and happy to report 1 new hire from last year that has met their 1-year anniversary with 7 new hires this year. Our next employer is HOEM Precision Metal Fabricators, represented by Blaine Grove, President. Precision Metal is in their first year of the program and happy to report 4 new hires this year. Our next employer is Innovative Design, represented by Kyle Bixler, Managing Partner. Innovative Design is their first year of the program and happy to report 5 new hires. Our next employer is Daisy Data Displays, represented by Greg Dubin, Executive Vice President. Daisy Data Displays is in their first year of the program and is also happy to report 5 new hires this year. Our next employer is Barron Manufacturing, represented by Mark Roche, Vice President. Barron is in their first year of the program and happy to report 1 new hire this year. Our final employer is Military and Commercial Fastener, represented by Jason Seward, President. Military and Commercial Fastener is in their first year of the program and happy to report 22 new hires this year. Thank you, South Central Network. I'd like to welcome back to the stage, representing New Jersey Network, Bruce Warner.
Good afternoon. The current coach for the New Jersey Network. We're in transition. This year we have a total of 15 hiring employers, announcing 96 new hires. Out of our 15 hiring employers, we have 2 employers in their 3rd year and 6 employers in their 2nd year of the program that are pleased to announce 56 new hires from last year that have reached their 1st year anniversary. Employers in our networks this year have been focused on establishing world-class first days and strengthening their teams through leader retention training and 5th metric scorecard implementation. Our employer speaker for our network is Holtec International. Holtec is in their 3rd year of the program and is happy to report 7 new hires from last year that have reached their 1st year anniversary and are reporting 8 new hires this year. Please welcome to the stage for his remarks, Executive Vice President of Holtec International, Fritz Roegge.
Thank you, Bruce. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very proud to represent New Jersey employers. That includes Griner Industries, Hutchinson Industries, Trident Maritime, DC Fabricators, and my company, Holtec International. We were asked to provide an assessment of kind of the impact, the benefit of the program, and frankly, I think it's already been said. Certainly on behalf of all the New Jersey employers, it's much the same. We really benefit from the improved networking, the relationships, the opportunity to access talent, this talented young group of young people from areas that we previously didn't have access to. We appreciate the opportunity to provide feedback to those schools in terms of what a successful worker in our company, what skills they need, and how the curriculum can be enhanced and optimized in order to deliver. And we really appreciate the work of the TMG team to help provide tools, training to help improve our own recruiting and retention. So again, you've heard that all before. I would like to spend just a minute, though, and talk about the greater benefits, what I see as the greater benefits. And not only is it the benefit to we, the employers, but it is, as you've heard, the benefit to the Navy. That's why we're here. The Navy sponsors this program. My first career was as a submarine officer. I commanded submarine and sailors taking ships to sea. And let there be no doubt, this is business which even in the very best of times is not without risk. I was a submarine officer, so taking a ship which is designed to sink and making it sink with the expectation it will surface again, this is not for the faint of heart. I've taken submarines to the North Pole. I've taken submarines into war zones. I've taken submarines thousands of miles away from home, hundreds of feet beneath the sea. And I can do that with the confidence that the ship in which is carrying the souls that are entrusted to me, that the ship has been well made, manufactured, well repaired, such that I can have confidence that in the best of times or the worst of times, we're going to make it safely home. So let me impress upon you again the importance to the Navy of the work that all of you are embarking upon. Secondly, the importance to the nation. You heard that from Admiral Caudle, you heard that from Mr. Sermon, you heard it from everybody. The Navy has a preeminent role in this geopolitical competition with competitors who have goals which are different from America's. It is up to the Navy to defend freedom of the seas that allows for the international trade, that supports our economy, our way of life, and our security. And finally, let me just emphasize again how this matters to you, the new employees and your families. I had the opportunity to speak very briefly with a number of parents, not just of our new Holtec shipmates, but from across the population. And everybody has said, both implicitly and explicitly, how proud you families are of these young people who are embarking upon this new career. And that pride is very well deserved. It is very appropriate, because the work that you are embarking upon is not a job. It is a career. It is a profession. It is profoundly important. It is vitally needed. And it is implicitly consequential. It is work that matters because it matters to the nation, to the Navy, and certainly to yourselves. And it is the first step in a career that can help you to achieve the things that matter most to you in your lives, personal lives and professional lives. And it is work that you can and should be proud of, just as your families are proud of you for embarking on this. So on behalf of all of our New Jersey employers, we are proud to have you join us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Roegge. Holtec's new hires here with us today are Ryan Grabfelder, Diego Arguella, Evan Brown, Sean Miller, Yatzel Byron, and Jaden Melendez. Our next employer is DC Fabricators, represented by Paul Stanton, Director of Manufacturing. DC Fabs is in their third year of the program and is happy to report 5 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary and are reporting 3 new hires this year. New hires here with us today are Aiden Childs and Dominic Laspina. And our final employer for the New Jersey Network is Engineering and Information Technologies, EIT, Inc., represented by Hirsch Singh, Vice President, Operations and Growth. EIT is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 8 new hires this year. Thank you. Next, I'll call back to the podium my leader, Joe Barto, who will deliver an organizational announcement.
Thanks, Bruce. In the Army and the Navy and our military tradition, we'd like to take the opportunity when we come together to announce changes of command. So it is a sacred ceremony, and as we grow the program, one of my obligations is to ensure that each of the flags has the right leadership to do that. So as we've grown, I'm very proud to announce that Vince Jordan, who has been running the Pittsburgh flag for 2 years, is now going to fleet up and is going to take responsibility of both the Pittsburgh and the Philadelphia flags as a super flag lead. So Vince, where are you at? He's in the back. But, thanks. We do what you got to do. I'm also very proud to announce that Bruce Warner, after his 3rd year of leading the Philadelphia flag, is also fleeting up. So as Bruce was the primary support for us when we first started the Philly flag, Bruce is going to take over as the Enterprise Plus flag as we start the nationwide rollout of the program. So Bruce, I couldn't be prouder that you've been able to accomplish that, and we're going to continue to grow the program as we go. The last, way to go, Bruce. So I'm really happy to announce that effective 1 June, that Leilani Hilton will become the flag lead for the Philadelphia flag. So is the charge, effective 1 June, Leilani Hilton is responsible for everything the Philadelphia flag does or fails to do. No pressure, Lonnie, and I invite you to the podium, and just know we all have your back, and we know this is an amazing team. So there you go.
Thank you, Ms. Barto. I'm truly honored and excited to accept this new role of regional flag leader for the Philadelphia region. It's with great enthusiasm that I step into this position, knowing that I lead a great network of outstanding employers, training providers, and facilitators as we embark on our 4th year of the Talent Pipeline program. Our collective achievements over the last 3 years have been remarkable, and I'm eager to continue to build on this strong foundation. As we look ahead in the coming year, there are several key focus areas that our network coaches and partners. As we start the year off, we'll do individual value stream mapping sessions to develop performance improvement plans tailored to unique needs of our employers. We'll also be onboarding our newest employers with their senior leader partner orientation to set the stage for a successful first year in the lead-in to our kickoff event, as well as hosting networking events to foster collaboration and share best practices. Additionally, we'll be implementing talent acquisition and retention tools to ensure we attract and keep the best talent. Importantly, we'll track the progress of our new hires throughout their first year and provide the support and guidance they need to succeed. Our goal for this next year is to increase our hiring employers to 100. In order to meet this goal, I'm thrilled to welcome 2 new coaches to our team, Quentin Moore and Damon Johnson. Over the next 30 days, we'll be realigning our networks and employers. I welcome your input during this realignment phase. I also want to extend a warm welcome to our new employers who will be joining us in the next year cohort. Your participation and commitment are crucial to our continued success in this program. Additionally, I'd like to announce our best practice model for 2024 to 2026 cohort, Precision Custom Components. Their network coach will be Becky with the support of myself and the other network coaches. And the previous best practice models, Kingsbury, Cleveland Cliffs, Coatesville, and Penn Machine Works. Another huge thank you goes out to all our partners who have contributed to the Talent Pipeline program this year. Your dedication and support are the driving force behind our success, and it's because of your hard work and commitment that we will be able to make such a positive impact. The team here in the Philadelphia region is eager to continue our work with our employer partners. Together, we aim to strengthen the capacity of the defense industrial base to ensure a prosperous path forward. We are confident that by working collaboratively, we achieve even greater heights and create a thriving ecosystem for talent development and retention. Thank you all for your trust and support. I'm a leader, and my team plays to win. It is with great honor to introduce our final speaker for today's event, Command Master Chief Jeffrey Hiscocks, currently serving as the Program Executive Office, Team Submarine. Command Master Chief Hiscocks has been an unwavering supporter of the Talent Pipeline program, bringing a wealth of knowledge and strategic guidance to our employers. His commitment to our mission is evident through his active participation in numerous networking events and major milestone events, such as our cohort kickoff and a mid-year networking and sharing event. Additionally, he has taken the time to conduct employer site visits, further strengthening our community. Please join us.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As said, my name is Jeff Hiscocks. 24 years in the Navy, career submarine sailor, and love every minute of it. Matt, you're right. These are the brightest lights that I've ever been on stage with. So I'm not going to come up here and rip on Philly sports or the Eagles because I'm a Bears fan. So I live with it every day. So great speech, Masea. I was asking where your mom was because I wanted to recognize when you raise kids like that, and for Rhoads Industries and Joe, when you ask what does right look like, this is it right here. This is So I think we got all the thank yous and all the recognition out of the way, so I don't have to do that. But I do want all the new hires that walked across the stage, I need you to stand up one more time, not so we can clap for you, just so I know who I'm addressing and I know where to look as I talk tonight. So stand up one more time. I got you, right? We're going to recognize you one more time. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. So tonight is about you. It's about the new hires. We celebrate you for many reasons. The start of a new career, or maybe for some of you, the starting over of a career. No matter the case, no matter the scenario, something exciting and something challenging awaits you. It's the opportunity for family-sustaining wages over the course of the next 40, 30 years if you choose it. A trajectory of upward mobility. I want to talk about purpose. I want to talk about finding a job with purpose. Purpose beyond what many of you probably, you didn't envision before embarking on a journey to support the submarine industrial base or the greater defense industrial base. So what's the purpose? What's its definition of working for the defense industrial base or the submarine industrial base? Achieving, and I'm surprised Matt didn't say it, achieving and sustaining a submarine build rate of 1 Columbia class and 2 Virginia classes per year by 2028, plus sustaining our current fleet. That's the cadence that we want. And you'll hear it over and over, 1 plus 2 plus sustainment by 2028. That is the purpose, 1 plus 2 plus sustainment by 2028. That's the cadence that we need to achieve by 2028 to achieve our goals. That's your purpose. So what is your role in achieving this? How will you contribute to achieving this purpose? Are you a welder? Are you a machinist? Are you a non-destructive testing engineer, quality control, pipe fitter, sheet metal worker, painter, coating specialist? Maybe you're an electrician. Maybe your job is administrative in nature. Maybe you're safety. Maybe you're training. Maybe you're workforce. It doesn't matter what your position or your title is. It matters that you walked across the stage tonight. You are contributing to national security. Matt talked about it. Admiral talked about it. You're contributing to the United States of America, exercising power projection and diplomacy from whatever shop floor or office that you call your work. So how do we draw that line from blue-collar workforce to power projection? And you shouldn't, We shouldn't even call it blue-collar workforce. With all of the advanced manufacturing and the robotics and the 3D printing and the cobots and the technology that we have when you walk into a manufacturing facility today, I mean, it is sexy. It is technology. It is clean. So we have a term, we call it new collar. It's not blue collar, it's new collar. So how do you draw that line from new collar workforce to a term that we call strategic nuclear deterrence? And that's what Matt talked about. Our ability to project strategic nuclear deterrence comes from 3 legs, or a triad. So the first leg is the Air Force. The Air Force bombers. They carry nuclear weapons. They can be mobilized all over the country. We can move those weapons all over the country. It's not exactly a science. Our enemies kind of know where those weapons move. It's visible through satellite. It's not exactly the most efficient means. I'm partial to the Navy. It's nothing against the Air Force. And then you have our ballistic missile silos. That's the second leg of the triad. Those ballistic missile silos are located all over the western half of the United States. Most of our adversaries know where they're at. Any satellite imagery in a foreign adversary's probably got them targeted, right? They're old, they need upgraded, and they're stationary. They're easy targets to hit. And then you have the third leg of that triad. Where's that third leg? That third leg it's sea-based on the Ohio-class submarine. And it's always sea-based. And that Ohio-class submarine, when we designed it to operate for about 35 or 40 years. Right now, some of our oldest Ohio-class submarines are operating on year 44. So when you think about, as I'm talking to a manufacturing audience, when you think about designing something that has a life cycle of 40 years and we're operating in year 44, when you think about the tools, parts, components, and repair facilities and capabilities to keep that thing operational, it's getting harder and harder to find those components to keep that submarine operational. And that's a submarine that carries the third leg of our ballistic missile, our strategic deterrent. So the greatest thing about our sea-based strategic deterrent is it houses what we call our second strike capability. And our second strike capability is what keeps bad actors, that's what keeps them up at night. So even if they were lucky enough to get all of our Air Force bombers, and even if they were lucky enough to figure out where all the silos are, they never know where those submarines are. So those submarines, carrying all those nuclear warheads, they don't know where they're at. So that second strike capability, that strategic nuclear deterrent that we talked about, that is part of every presidential foreign policy from when we enacted nuclear weapons until now, that second strike capability, you cannot put a value on it. It's always in the back of our adversary's mind. I could do this and I could do that, but I never know where those submarines are at. So how do I stop them from launching? So why is now the time? We talked about the age of the Ohio-class submarine. We know we need to replace it. But why is now the time, the 1+2+ sustainment? So if you walked across the stage tonight, do you realize that if you're working in the submarine industrial base and you're working on the Columbia-class program, you're contributing to the #1 funded program in all of the Department of Defense? Not the B-1 bombers, not the F-35s, not anything you can think of in the Department of Defense. If you walked across the stage tonight and you work in the Defense Industrial Base that contributes to Columbia-class, it is the #1 funded program in all of government. Think about that. Think about how important that is. And when you think about what is your purpose, that's really only the secondary reason. You got to be thinking like, CMC, what is the real reason? So the real reason can be summed up in 2 words. The #1 purpose for your job is 2 words: not today. So I need you to repeat after me. Not today. Not today. That sucked. So let's try again. Not today. Not today. It's a little bit better. We'll work on it. So not today. And Matt talked about it, and he nailed it perfect, right? We live in a great world, right? Everything we do, our way of life, how we live, how we go to church, how we go to school, how we go to sporting events, how we carry out our business, the freedoms and democracies that we have and what we get to enjoy. But if you look across the ocean in either direction, there are bad actors that wake up every single day and they look in the mirror and they ask themselves, Is today the day that I push the buttons of the United States? Is today the day that I get involved in a global conflict? In North Korea, Kim Jong-un wakes up and he asks himself, is today the day that I invade and antagonize South Korea? How many more missile tests aimed towards Guam and Hawaii before the United States gets involved? Is today the day, am I ready to engage in a global conflict with the United States as a foe directly or in alliance with another country? In China, Xi Jinping wakes up and he asks, will the United States respond to his bully-like behavior across the Indo-Pacific? If today is the day that I decide to invade and take back Taiwan, will the United States respond the way that their doctrine says they will? In Russia, Vladimir Putin says, if I decide to threaten NATO countries with nuclear weapons, will the United States respond the way that they say they will? In the Middle East, Houthi rebel leaders are already asking the question, is today the day? And they're quickly finding out today is not the day. They're engaging every day, firing upon commercial shipping and forward-deployed naval vessels, firing anything they can think of, from drones to missiles to the kitchen sink, and our forward-deployed forces are answering the question, today is not the day, and they're handling the business at hand. So when we go back to the purpose of your job, the greater good, being involved in something greater than your own self, it's this. This is your job. This is your trade. This is your skill. This is the work that forces those leaders every day. They get up, they look in the mirror, and you force them to say, not today. That's the purpose. You force them to say, not today. Today is not the day that I take back Taiwan. Today is not the day that I tempt South Korea with another missile test. Today is not the day that I threaten NATO countries with nuclear weapons. I am not ready. I am not ready to face the United States. I am not ready to engage in global conflict. I don't have the edge in this category or that category. Those two words, not today, they belong to you. To those of you that walked across the stage tonight. They belong to you. They belong to your coworkers. They belong to your companies and the 16,000 plus other companies that support the submarine industrial base. And then if you extrapolate that, the thousands of companies that support the defense industrial base. That's your job for as far over the horizon as you can see. It's a heavy responsibility when you think about it. To provide the submarine industrial base and the defense industrial base with the skills, the tools, the parts, materials needed to give the military what we need to be successful. We need capacity, we need capability, we need lethality, we need technology, we need efficiency, consistency, but above all, we need quality. And the Admiral talked about the quality to submerge that submarine and understand that every time I operate a valve, I am never concerned about what's going to happen. I always take it for granted that that valve is going to operate because you provide me quality. So you that walked across the stage, you're the edge. You've always been our edge. The American workforce is the silent branch of the armed services. It's not the silent service, the submarine service. It's the American workforce. And you've always answered that call. So I hope you're still awake, and I know we're getting short on time, right? But we need you. Like the young kids that walked across the stage tonight. And there's some young ones out here, or I'm just getting old. You're just out here, you're trying to make it in life. This might be your first job, right? You're just trying to figure out life, trying to open a bank account, trying to figure out how to pay your bills. One day you're probably going to get married. Maybe you're going to be lucky enough to have kids. And I know this sounds weird. We want your kids, right? We're going to be building these submarines for the next 40 years. I need engineers. I need welders. I need machinists. The ones that are going to be working 40 years from now on the Columbia class haven't even been born yet. So we have to think about it over the horizon like that. And Matt has this phrase, this is a movement in history, not a moment in time. We project 140,000 workers over the next 10 years that we need into the submarine industrial base alone, not just the defense industrial base. Building Columbias, building Virginias for the next 40 years. We have a submarine called SSNX we're designing now. We haven't even given it a name yet. And then we have this whole thing called the AUKUS program that we have with the Australians and the United Kingdom that we didn't even talk about tonight. So when you pull the curtain back and you look at all the opportunities that are out there for young people, and Joe talked about the opportunity in the economy, there are jobs out there and they're not going to go away. So when you think about how your day went, when you finish your day and you're on your way home, however it is that you relax, whatever it is that you do to unwind, think about the American way of life and think about how you contributed to a bad actor saying, not today, because you did that. Not today, because he's no match or she's no match for the American industrial workforce. Keep doing it. Tell all your friends, because we need a lot of help. And if you have trouble remembering all this stuff, I understand, right? Because I've been up here kind of rambling. We got this great website called buildsubmarines.com. If you go there, it'll tell you everything about this, and it'll help you get your friends all hooked up with us. So whether you're in uniform, whether you're a prior veteran, whether you're a government service employee, contractor, it doesn't matter. You're what we call an influencer in today's society. So we need your voice. We need your help. We need you to spread this. We need you to spread this program and this message. We need disciples to get this message across the country. So when you look at the Talent Pipeline program and the success it's had just in the year that I've been part of the program as it spreads across the country, it's great to see the culture changes and improvements in the organizations that I've been able to visit just in the year that I've been with the program. To see companies use the tools provided to become better places to work, to provide better environments, investing in the betterment of their employees that result in the personal and professional development of just better overall human beings. When we put the focus on making better human beings, better everything else just happens. We get better supply chain results. We get better capacity and capability within our shipyards and our shipbuilding shipyard and shipbuilding facilities. We get better build rates of our submarines. We get better. So let's continue to just get better as better human beings with the program. Congratulations, Philadelphia, on your signing day today. Good luck out there, and remember, not today. Thank you.
Thank you, Command Master Chief Jeffrey Hiscocks. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the departure of our official party.